All right, hello guys. I'm gonna go ahead and do our demo of how to make the pasta that you guys are gonna cook tomorrow. So our very first step is we want to prep the area. So we need to disinfect. If you have long hair, you need to put your hair up, and then you need to wash your hands. If you have an apron, you can put an apron on if you like. If you have a chef's hat, go for it. Whatever it is, but we need to disinfect. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, this is gonna be my area that I'm kind of gonna get everything set up. So I'm gonna spray it down and wipe it to make sure that it is nice and clean, because you always want to disinfect your areas to make sure that there's nothing. If I were to drop some pasta, I don't want it to drop on anything that is, has any bacteria or any sort of viruses on it. So you always want to go ahead and clean your area. All right, then I need to put my hair up. I already took off my jewelry, so if you have any sort of rings or bracelets on, you want to take off your jewelry. You don't want your jewelry to ever fall into the food, or if you have anything dangly, it could obviously set on fire. I'm gonna go stop this video, wash my hands really fast, and come on back. Okay, now I have nice, clean, washed hands. I don't want to touch my hair, so, scratch my arms, anything like that, now that my hands are washed. So our first step is that mise en place. So we want to make sure that we have all of our equipment out, everything measured, ready to go. So I just went ahead and took out all of my equipment. You guys should already have most of it out. So today, what you are going to do when we are done, you're going to go ahead, take all your equipment out, put it off to the side, tell your parents not to touch it, so that tomorrow you don't have to be fumbling through all the cabinets trying to find it early in the morning. So the very first thing that we're gonna need is our liquid measuring cup. We need that to measure out our water. We are going to need a medium-sized pot. So something along these lines, the size. I wouldn't do anything smaller than this. If you have bigger, that is totally fine. Maybe the pot with 2 handles is fine, but anything smaller, the water will be very high to the top, and you're gonna have to watch for overboil when you're cooking. So you have your pot. You are going to need a small bowl, and this you're going to need specifically to measure your salt. When we measure our salt, I'll show you in a second, you're gonna need to put it into something, so a small little bowl of some sort to put it in. You will need a spoon. This one is a pasta spoon, so it has the little teeth on it. It could be this, it could be a wooden spoon, it could be just a regular plastic one, it could be a metal or like the stainless steel ones, whatever you got. And then you need your colander. So your colander, and then I forgot to actually take out a bowl at the end to put your pasta in when you are finished. So those are all the items that you should have. You're gonna have to take a picture of all this stuff. So you're gonna wanna have it all laid out, the equipment, plus your ingredients. So you are going to need the salt. So here's my salt. I'm just gonna end up pouring it into my hand. And you will need your bag of pasta to go ahead and show a picture of. We are going to need, for our ingredients, our bag of pasta. We are going to need a dash of salt. So what you are gonna do for a dash of salt, you're gonna get some sort of little bowl. This is what I have in my house. It could be anything at all, or it could be a big bowl, but a small little bowl. I'm going to pour a little salt into my hand. My hands are nice and clean. And I'm literally gonna just take my fingers, grab a bit, and put it into that bowl. That is a dash of salt. That is all you need. And then I'm gonna need some water. So we're gonna have to measure out our water. So for my water, we need 5 cups of water. If you can see, my numbers are kind of falling off, but mine only goes up to 4 cups right here. So it needs 5 cups of water. So I'm gonna go ahead and just measure it to 4 to begin with. And then from there, I'll measure the last 1 cup after. Do not forget to measure the last 1 cup after if yours is similar to mine. So I'm gonna go ahead, turn on the water. Put the water in my liquid measuring cup. You need to make sure you use a liquid measuring cup for this, not a dry measuring cup. And then once you think you're semi there, you want to go ahead, the water, and put it on the table. And you want to get down at eye level and see where we are. So we are pretty close there to 4 cups. So now I have my water measured, I have my pasta, and I have my salt. So these are the ingredients. Okay, now that I did my mise en place and got everything ready to go, we're gonna start cooking. So I went ahead and I put my pot on my stove. I'm going to need to put my water into my pot. So again, here's 4 cups, and we needed 5 cups. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up again with 1 more cup. So you wanna measure it and get down at eye level to see, kind of wait for it to stop. I'm pretty close there too. Spot on today. All right, 1 cup there. I'm gonna pour in. So now I have 5 cups of water in my pot. You wanna turn on your stove and you want it on high heat. So I'm putting it as high as it really kind of goes right now. And you are gonna wait for it to start boiling. While you are waiting for it to boil, you can go ahead and get out your oven mitts because you will need to use that later. Here's my oven mitt that I'm gonna use to go ahead. This is a nice one. It's easy to grip on so you don't burn yourself. If you have a pot that has 2 handles, obviously you need to get 2 oven mitts out. So as you see my water starting to get there, we see little bubbles happening, but we want it to be at a rolling boil. So we want it to really boil. While you are waiting, it does take some time. If you go on your phone or if you are waiting and touching other things, let's not forget to go ahead and wash our hands again before we actually start making the recipe. Boil, so we see it is boiling a lot. So we want to go ahead and add our salt. So I already have my salt. I'm just gonna add it in there. And our pasta. Add the pasta and stir. So like you saw in the directions, it says kind of the boil kind of goes down at first, but it will come right back up. So we want it to come up and we want to set our timer. So depending on how your kitchen is set up, you want to set your timer. So for me, I click timer and 9 minutes and start. So my timer has started. I usually turn my heat down a tiny bit. And you just want to stir every so often. During this time, while you are waiting, I would suggest starting to put any of the pictures that you've already taken into the document when you have time right now. Same with when you're waiting for the water to boil. Go ahead and start putting the pictures from the first couple steps because you need to turn that in for your points for your cooking lab. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take my colander and I'm gonna put it into my sink because that's where I'm gonna have to drain my pasta. My timer just went off, so I'm gonna press cancel on here. And then what I need to do is obviously turn off my heat. Please make sure you turn it off first, and then you'll see the water will kind of stop boiling. I'm gonna go ahead and use my oven mitt to grab on to the pasta. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. And I'm gonna kind of stepping away, I'm gonna pour it in to the colander. Watch for that steam. Make sure you're pouring away from your body. All right, and I'm just gonna, I put that back on the stove. And there is the pasta. Usually I kind of shake it a little. I forgot to take a video of when I tried it first. Just a reminder, if you do try it to make sure that it is cooked, you just pull one of them out. Go ahead and take a bite, and if you think it needs to be on a little longer, that's fine. Do it a little longer. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer it to the bowl that I will eat it in. And then if you have any sort of toppings or whatever it may be, you can go ahead and add it at this time, and that is it. There's your pasta. Enjoy.